It just would not be Warriors basketball without them doing just dumb stuff late to make this an unnecessary stressful finish, wouldn't it, right? At least they could stat pad, I suppose, and they win, of course. They beat the Spurs at home, which is great to see. One of the worst teams in the NBA, now on an 11-game losing streak, and we beat them, which is a positive, of course. They are still young and lengthy, which, of course, gives us an issue no matter what. And let's talk about Moses Moody starting. He started in place of Chris Paul, Draymond Green, of course, vice versa right now because Draymond is still suspended. And Chris Paul started the last 4 games. Now we saw Moses Moody starting, and he did good. The starters still looked overall just flawed and slow and old and not that great. But he did look really great, and he had an awesome first half, going 4 for 4, 9 points, even though in the second half he was a little rougher, and that's why Kerr probably played him just 17 minutes, which is rough, but what can you do, man? With Kerr, nothing you can do. But it was great to see Moody actually start and get rewarded for his, high IQ, good play, which was great to see, and I think he's gonna earn more opportunities overall throughout these next couple of weeks, and I hope so at least. Let's talk about Clay. He chucked up a lot of bad shots. The free ball is looking better, but he's still just relentlessly, bad decision maker is not the right word today, because today he made a lot of solid decisions, especially passing wise. He had 6 assists and made some good decisions there, but he just still chases those bad shots and, those heaters, how the fuck do we call them actually? Heat checks. And some of them are just outrageously hilarious and bad. He also, like I said, is not who he was defensively, especially off ball. And he was very frustrated, and he let his frustrations know on the bench when he got benched for GP2 at the end of the second quarter. Kicked the chair, which was intriguing. And GP2, like I said, replaced him. He looked really solid, which was great to see him back in limited minutes. Hopefully he, stays healthy, but that's been the biggest issue in his game throughout his, since his first stint with the Warriors, even though, of course, nothing you can do when Dillon Brooks hurts you like he did, and stuff just happens, right? But, of course, GP2 was great to see him back, and let's shift the weight a little here. Let's talk about the most positive thing offensively, Dario Saric. He just looks really great offensively. He fits the system like butter on a knife, and he just does a lot of things he likes to do well, right? He's a good handoff guy. He can dribble the ball a little. He can pass the ball a little. He's been shooting lights out. He can actually put the ball in the floor, and he loves that behind the back from his right to his left arm. Left hand, left arm. Pardon me. And that's great to see. He offensively makes up for his defense, which is the other part of the story. He is just not a center defensively. We know this. We've talked about this every goddamn game, I feel like. And it presents some tough questions. But today, we did see a little bit of playtime with Trace Jackson Davis in these minutes here, where they overlap together. That's my bad. As you can see, here's Trace. These are the minutes for Trace. These are the minutes for Dario. And they were, all rightish, but he played some minutes with Looney out here, and they were positive. So I would like to see a little more of that, but of course it's hard with how small we like to play, despite not being as athletic, lengthy, and anything as the younger teams, which literally you see Orlando having a lot of success, or OKC having a lot of success. All these young teams have a lot of success that are lengthy, fast, athletic, right? And we just don't have that, and we play even, more to their advantage in a way with that. But it was great to see Saric play actually minutes with some big men, and he did great. He had a great game offensively. Chris Paul did really well also. He was great enough, and especially early on with Saric in that fourth quarter, they did a lot of good things. Kuminga did a lot of solid things. They finally ran some screen and rolls with Kuminga, Chris Paul and Kuminga, which was great to see because that's been heavily underutilized. And when we talk about the really bad thing, the team really does not appear that good, right? Once again, the same old thing we keep saying this season. Small, which is, could be fine if we were athletic enough, but we're just not. We're also slow because we have a lot of older guys, Chris Paul, Steph, Clay. Looney looks really slow, even though he's not that old, but he's been through the trenches, man. So it makes sense. And we are one of the worst teams in transition this year, which I want to show you. Teams transition, which I don't know why I did. Here we go. Frequency. We have the least amount of frequency per game. We don't have the lowest points per possession, but we have one of the lowest points per possession. And we're one of the worst in percentile. So, yeah, we're just one of the, least used teams in transition. And I feel like throughout the good years, we had to be really solid in there. In the last year, we weren't that good. But there is just not enough pace and not enough wide open baskets, I would say. Like in the great seasons, we were there. In the last championship seasons, we were at least somewhere in the middle. It wasn't great, but we at least generated solid points from it, which we just don't do enough of it. Those are the little, easy dunks for somebody and, just easy buckets from transition from the 3-point line. Sometimes for Steph, I feel like Steph did not have a transition 3 the whole year a little bit. And that's pretty much all I want to say. We also turned the ball over 24 times, which is just hilarious, but that is the system. And I forgot to mention, just Kerr's adjustments sometimes are really frustrating, right? He just doesn't adjust enough. He doesn't shift the rotations enough in a good way. Usually it's in more of a bad way in terms of in-game management to me, where, he did let Steph be out there when he was hot at the end of the third quarter, but he could have just let him ride off the whole third quarter. He did not, but he did let him be out there a little longer than usual, so I guess that's a kind of adjustment by him. But feels like Kerr has just not been, feels like the coaching has not been as great and as sharp since Mike Brown left. Whether that is the championship we won, whether that is Mike Brown leaving and not enough attention to detail defensively, maybe even offensively, but defensively for sure, that's up to question. But we also must say that we're still, keeping hope for the in-season tournament group win, as the Kings beat the Timberwolves. They are now 3-0 in the group, and the Timberwolves are now 2-1, and they play OKC next. Which means the winner of Kings Warriors could be the team to win the group. Warriors News, shout out to them on Twitter. They're great. Follow if you're a Warriors fan. Broke it down. Link for him in the bio, or you see his ad on the screen on Twitter or on X. Once again, if we beat the Kings and the Timberwolves lose, we win the group. If we win by 13 or more points and Minnesota wins by under 21 points or loses, we win. Which means Minnesota can't have a bigger point differential than -7, which the example Warriors News used is if we beat the Kings by 15, Wolves have to win by 23. Which is interesting. Hopefully, we beat the Kings by a lot and Minnesota loses and it's going to be all solid and we're going to have a home game for the in-season tournament. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But this Warriors team just leaves a lot to be desired so far, right? Entertainment part is just not also there. From the adjustments part, from the overusage of motion offense, from the injuries, from Clay just being not as fun, from the young guys not being as fun as they've been these last couple of years, I would say. Kuminga and Moody were more fun when they had lesser opportunities so far. And especially Kuminga, from the slower pace with Chris Paul, even though he's been solid. It's just weird, but I'm also grateful for it, right? It's one of my biggest joys. So hopefully I'm wrong about the team, but we shall see. They have not been healthy all year. They have not had consecutive healthy games. They've had a tough schedule, so they have the weekend off. Play on Tuesday in Sacramento, then 2 games against the Clippers. Then it's the in-season tournament break, and then we play Suns, Clippers away. It is a tough schedule, that's for sure, but we have a weekend, like 3 days off, I'm pretty sure, or 4 maybe even, I think 3. Then in Sacramento, which means Draymond is back from the suspension. we have enough time to practice. Hopefully, we'll be fully healthy. We have enough time off, and hopefully, we look better together. But we'll have to wait and see against Sacramento. It will be tough. It will be tough. It will be really tough with Fox playing the way he is. Can't wait for that. As always, be kind to yourself and to others. Enjoy basketball. Enjoy life. Love yourselves. Peace.